The American Psychiatric Association and American Psychological Association have said it would promote mental health and well-being. The American Academy of Pediatrics confirms that children of homosexual couples have exactly the same developmental outcomes as those of heterosexual couples and have endorsed same-sex marriage in their journal Pediatrics. The American Medical Association confirms that homosexuality is not learned, it's not contagious, it's not imposable, but it is innate and an unchangeable feature with no associated mental pathology, criminality, or harmfulness. So there is no justification for discrimination in our country's laws or our state laws. The American College of Obstetricians and Gynecologists in California has reviewed the evidence, and they have endorsed the bill. They have said that we view sexual orientation neutrally, as we view handedness, skin color, or any other biological trait. With that, and it deserves no discrimination. You see, it was social stigma and misinformation about homosexuals long ago that inspired laws with no scientific basis, intended to benefit the populace. Today we know that these laws benefit no one, that the separate and unequal treatment enforces an underclass and says that the state holds you, holds your child, or holds your parents in lower regard than other citizens, and it brands them, the child or the parents, for social ostracism, for violence, isolation, for depression, lower self-concept, poorer self-care, and then increased rates of obesity, alcoholism, smoking, and so on. These laws convey an inaccurate and harmful attitude into the minds and the hearts of every new generation and then further perpetuate the health disparities. The cycle can stop with legislation based on the unambiguous and unanimous scientific evidence that legal equality would help to remove the undeserved stigma of homosexuality in our society.
I'm a grandmother. I have been out my entire adult life, and I have witnessed decades of destruction caused by the exclusion from equal treatment in housing and the workplace, as well as the loss of custody battles and the ability to adopt. All of these rights have now been restored and protected, which gives me great hope. It gives me tremendous hope that we will gain recognition for our full rights and responsibilities. I feel a direct connection to the suffragists who chained themselves to the White House gates in an effort to secure the right to vote. And like my foremothers and so many other groups who have had to work so hard for inclusion and recognition, I am angry. And I'm angry because we are still denied the most basic right. And that is wrong. I am here to ask you to do the right thing. I am here to ask you to do what is civil, what is fair, what is just. I am here to ask you to recognize marriage as a fundamental right.
My father, my mother, my grandmother, each of them hoped to live long enough to attend my wedding. When my mother passed away last summer, I realized that was the last opportunity for anyone in my family to dance at my wedding. That hurt me. It was profoundly wounding for me. I had watched my mother suffer through the irresponsible, disrespectful attacks on her when she chose to marry outside her own race in a small town back east. She suffered greatly from that, but she and her husband lived together for years. Things changed. They lived in a neighborhood. They were happy. I'm old enough to have lived through watching black children be turned away from school buildings. I'm old enough to have watched very brave young people take their lives in their hands to sit at a Woolworth lunch counter. And it wasn't because they thought the food was going to be good. It was because they wanted the choice to be able to sit down and have a cup of coffee. And things changed. I'm old enough to have seen things change. So I know that democracy works. I know that. I have seen that. I am not a partial person. I am a full person. So now, I have the right to decide wherever I want to go to have a cup of coffee, but I do not have the right to decide who I can marry. That is not the democracy I know and understand. I know democracy can be better. I know democracy is better, and I appreciate your support in upholding the principles of that democracy.